Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. This is Shirley with Spirit of Matter, and we are on a soul day. So we're going to call on the energies of Regul. And Regul has an interesting job today because the star of fame, riches, and abundance and health is doing an interesting job. This is Moon Hour. Moon is in the end phase of Scorpio, and the ascendant 17 Pisces, and midheaven 22 degrees Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter in 20, I think, still 21 degree Gemini, which means it's going to station retrograde before it gets to the 22. And I want you all to have a round of applause and say, thank you, Jupiter, for not going back and forth on the 22. Well, Chiron did, and Uranus did, okay? So, the peterings dropped again, and now we get, in addition to that, the list of guests for Puff Daddy's parties, where allegedly they were doing snuff films, okay? Epstein. The people, okay, so that's interesting because we have royal families from like Monaco, Qatar, Britain, and of course people names that you might not be expecting if you don't know the disease structure, like Mariah Carey, and of course Beyonce, and but that you're expecting because of Jay-Z and because of the alleged allegations around like witchcraft and stuff. And if you've been watching Jaguar Ride, so you know. And the politicians, yes, of course, including Kamala Harris, so we understand that's a part of the why we get the lists now. Because I wasn't seeing name Donald Trump, although Donald Trump's been with Epstein. Okay, we got a picture of him with Epstein. Not we. The ex, the Twitter ex. So that's, for many people, that's the music a lot of us grew up on. And I've heard comments like, oh, well, the rock stars are not there, and people were talking about them, but they are not there. I was like, come on. Grow up. Everyone's in it, okay? That's the structure. You could not be alive and not be there. The closest that people came was Jaguar Ride. And by the way, Kanye West was also in the parties with Diddy, which is something that, you know, we didn't expect. Especially not after him being such a whistleblower on the issue. And mind you, those parties were similar to Epstein Island. Okay, so this is not, say allegedly, but it's very likely that structurally is the case. What is it doing now? So what is it doing now for the elections in the United States? Okay, we got Kamala Harris there. What is it doing now for people being asking, okay, where are the children? Because we got the lists, we got the names, we had the Epstein list, nobody did anything about this. Of course not, because the Supreme Court judges have to record snuff films of them raping children to be there, and they're also intelligence. If you listen to Hansel Edna, which I believe, again, I can believe whoever the fuck I wanna. And when you understand it structurally, and this is secret societies that some of them born into and some kidnap into, and so even if people say they're groomed, usually without father figure, without mother figure, upbringing difficult, okay, so you understand this by design, because the reason they're without the parents is because for the structure, okay, for financial crisis or lack of housing, okay, which affects relational pattern, medical welfare, which affects the birthing process, and conception process. Okay, so it's by design to get them to be there. This is release of energy block. Anytime such list goes out, it's release of energy block. It's needed release of energy block. We need more than that, of course. But more people need to understand the structure, because it's not just the music you grew up on. It's literally all encompassing, and many people wake up understanding that there is the bridge when the veil is thinning, which is what the Saturn Neptune doing. The bridging between worlds happen, and this is almost an extraterrestrial experience, okay? Because this is genuinely people live in different worlds, and it's generated by design. It's a part of what creates, okay, for the situation that allows, okay, some people, as Lincoln said, they can fool some of the people some at a time. Now is time in history where they try to fool all the people all the time. So this is where things go boom, okay? And they try to do that because of the bisextile of Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, with Saturn, Neptune. They think they got it all together. So they think they got it all together. They got the plutocrats. They got the, criminal organization. They got the government spies, intelligence, and they got the rebels to work with them or to have like an image of rebellion. And this is where people are going to see, well, remember when we just started modern consumerism and China began to manufacture everything, and you got, well, is this Nikes or is it made in China? Well, it's made some today by, for child labor and so on. So you're gonna ask yourself, okay, is this a revolution or is it made in China? Because when the revolution is made in China, you understand that it's not, okay? And a lot of people begin, okay, to see the signs and to change, okay, for the structure of their thinking. Because when Pluto was in Capricorn, we're trying to work our way within the system to transform the system, knock down the system, whatever. But we're trying to work within the system, okay? Pluto approaching Aquarius is the great fall of many things, because they try to fool all the people all the time. It's the only chance for them to survive Pluto and Aquarius, if they manage to do so. And this is the time in history where we abolish cults. However, any tribe, any history, any lineage, I have a very good friend that was Me Too veteran. By the way, Me Too, I think I said it, Jaguar Wright said it, was something that Jay-Z came up with to get rid of R. Kelly. Yes, it did create, of course, also ripples of other things, but that's the origin, okay? That's the funding, and you need funding for these things. That's how it was allowed, okay? That and the fact that they belmarched Julian Assange, okay? And so, but Julian Assange is funded by Rockefeller, okay? We still have not reached independent funding. The guy that tried to do that, like Gaddafi, which is in no way perfect, got offed very quickly. And they tried to off Assange, but then Assange says he likes to design very large-scale systems, okay? It's giving WEF to me. Okay, and I was there when they needed to like speak up and get him out of Belmarsh and so on. Yes, but we also have to, to name it how you name it, okay? He exposed what's wrong, but we also have to make sure that we understand, okay, what we're talking about. Anybody you see with the two genders that hasn't referred to the two genders, okay, the two, what you see like a peace sign or victory, is basically hermaphrodite, which is the it is basically kind of cloned people, and they go through extreme torture and no way out. And this is the two genders, okay? That's the two spirits, but they cloned them and they brought them to torture. Now, any indigenous tribe or society that did not deal yet with human sacrifice, cannibalism, rape, and so on, how they treat the crazy, okay? And how they, treat the people in whatever jail is or exile and so on, it's still the thing. It's still the thing. That's the way society would be treated upon conquering. Not only brings invasion, prompts invasion, but it's the way society would be treated. And unfortunately, we talk about Masons. That is global intelligence, basically. They built upon a common ground that they will encompass all of these tribes. So that was the common ground, okay? And that is something that we need to understand when we try to do globalism. Because we're not trying to do globalism, but we're facing the time of Pluto and Aquarius. If you think about all humanity and so on, scientific advancement, intergalactical communication and stuff like that, we also have to think about what is the common ground for all the world, and right now it is slaughtered children. If the common ground does not change, either humanity goes extinct or humanity goes robotic. Anyway, Sedna in Gemini is definitely, the time where we'll see, okay? The Sedna story is that the free girl that was not accommodated in society because she said no to rape, and she said no to a childhood taken in favor of rape. She drowned, and people had to pray for Sedna for food. So what does it tell us, this story, in whichever version, is that the way we treat for these people that are free. And if we don't accommodate for freedom, very, very simply, our nourishment taken away from us, okay? Our food. And then to pray for the deceased is lovely, but also change need to be. So this is lesson now for all humanity, that we are going through it with the implication on society, technology, law, the written world language. So we're going to have a booming of development, but then we still have to honor Sedna, because Sedna brings this booming of development, intergalactically even, energetically, whatnot. She does. But we have to give reverence to Sedna, we have to honor Sedna, we have to accommodate for the free people. And I remind you, a free person does not need to oppress another, okay? Think about this, even you want to think about it like as an emotional state or a consciousness state, as a state where you don't even feel need to oppress another. This is a free man, you are free, you don't even feel a need to oppress another. And this is antithetical to what the Masonic society has been up to this date. Okay, they called slavery is freedom and freedom is slavery. It's all that Machiavellian things that is probably ancient, and all the indigenous society that they were building upon. Okay, these were the architects. So they're the architects of a society, the social engineering, okay, which is intelligence, but also architecture, structures, every structure, okay. So they're just, this is the common ground. And that is, this is important, okay, for every society. So now we have, yes, energy release, okay, names released. I see a lot of names. Rao in Aries rules Mars. Mars is going to oppose Pluto. Mars rules names. Okay, I see it also when I do my own teeth treatment. I have Saturn in the sign of Mars, and that unfortunately related to abolishing kidnapping of children, rape of children, abolishing rape within the family, within the marriage, and so on. Abolishing also worshiping to satanic cults, okay, to Saturn, Satan, and internationally, okay, and this is, yes, is cure for teeth, okay, very important, holistically, okay, and so there was a cult member charging his phone when I said this. Usually all my maneuver is transparent, but you don't have a screenshot. It's like there was a person charging his phone, so I know he's from the cult. Okay. I just talk about treating my teeth holistically and look at that meta. Okay. And the Mars, for the many things that it rules, blood flow and so on, but also defending, okay, a certain and traveling, okay, is very important. So many people travel to do their teeth. I don't know if it's a general thing, but I have Jupiter in the sign of the teeth, which is in Saturn sign, and then I have Saturn in the 9th house, which is traveling. Last time, for when I did such thing for like my skin, my teeth, but that I was going to academia later. Basically, I told the story. I got into debt, and that was the only way, because I didn't want to take a loan. So, that was very funny, but the world is funny in that way. And then Saturn rules names. So, if I always said, when I was doing my activism, I said, well, the structure matters, and I want to tend to the structure. So I don't want people to get, the name can make it look like headhunt, which is not, okay? But for Mars, name important. And when I treat my teeth, it's trauma, if there's this, names are important. And I see tremendous relief in my will to live, in my vitality, in my sense of that there is hope, in my presence, in my body, asserting my boundaries, okay? So this is obvious. And when I said my psychologist name, I tried to treat my teeth 3 years to just remove the bile, okay, the build up of, there's this build up, okay, and for you go just to remove that. 3 years I tried for entire COVID and that. Only when I said the name for my psychologist, Itamar Yaron, that threatened my life, that was MK Ultra, and only when I said this, only then I managed to have appointment and removed. Okay, for private it was a good price and it was removing, and I just told her no with the fluoride and everything okay. Now I'm telling to for the caries, okay, for what's in my wisdom teeth. And sometimes before that, it's not only that, I tried many things, and it was so much so I could barely brush my own teeth. when I said that name, and I'm very grateful for the energy that supported me, said, say that name already. Because then I could tend to my teeth. And then now I see for the wisdom teeth, they want the names. They want the names. But it's not just the names, it's all that I'm speaking about right now. And all these teachings, okay, that I share with you for free. If you have teeth issues, there are many other things. So if you find that, like, I try to brush my teeth, I cannot. I try to have the good food, I cannot. I try to change this or make my own toothpasta, okay, I cannot. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Try to see what comes up holistically. I try to connect with my ancestors. Then I got channeling from my grandmama, Miriam, from my mama's side, deceased, and channeler said she wants something that has her name on it. Okay, I still need to make this. And after I set intention to do this, I had to say all the names. Okay, so you see Mars, ancestors' teeth, and I said I don't want to do coating like you do in Turkey or Romania, where you do the white coating, but this hides of when teeth is yellow, you can invite the ancestor. Say which ancestor, and to get teaching. I had one ancestor, Mama of Mama, that she said she felt unappreciated because all the things I worked for, she was doing that, and she was like a maiden, and she said, well, you need, to learn for the etiquette, or to have a bra that holds, hold your back, or to this. It's all these things that I was missing because I was living another life. Okay. And I said, hey, well, learn for the etiquette, but they're all in the peterings, and I was like, yeah, but she cared about this. So it's combining that, okay, because when we stop behaving ourselves, because it's like how come it's like if I don't rest my fork and knife in correct position, it seems disrespectful, but all the people around are eating children. and I don't laugh. It's actually true. Okay, I'm still combining this. Okay, this is also teeth. But when you have something stagnant, it's just when you're also in the nails, okay? Something stagnant, make it grow fungal. And the fungal stagnation is when you felt helpless in situation. Then you move energy around and you break through the fear, you break through. It's creative solutions, okay? There's a lot more to it, okay? But I began to work with yarrow, and then whatever I had, but it was such a situation where I ordered natural toothpaste. I said, if I have no power to make it myself, I'll pay for my money to make that, just to show that I want to tend to that. And I bought like the fish that are good for, like, with niacin, and they're good also to curate and so on. And I said to myself, and then I was with my family. There was the attack from the show with Iran, the Masons, and then I was at my mama's home. There was only 2 oils left: it's lavender and achillea, which was yarrow. I tried the yarrow, all my wisdom teeth, boom, everything went out. That's what I needed. Okay, that was what I needed. بعدين toothpasta, بعدين this, بعدين that, بعدين that. She said I needed freaking say it, okay? And this is important because these testimonials are correcting our teeth, which is our relations with our ancestors, our karma, okay? Accumulation of our actions. They move energy around to really change the world. Because the stories we have to tell, and the connections that we make. And as I was working with the Kamazulan, I was putting this yarrow. I was recording a video about Kamazulan and the oils with Kamazulan and so on. And then mid-video, I began to speak. And I talked about for the time where I was doing, my face to look better, and so on, and investing money and then like haircut and clothes, because I wanted to improve my representability so that I will maybe get a better job. It was the financial crisis. And then suddenly something like stopped the recording, and I felt like, no, something trying to silence me. What I found out is that basically the reason my makler, okay, is named Miro Pelle, is Tivuch Shelley, okay, all the names I need to tend to my teeth, right? So it's yes, Arad city in Israel is becoming like religious city, and the Chassidut is Gur, which is also for the ones that kidnapped the children of Ruth Shoam, and the children kidnapped for satanic ritual abuse. But with the lawyers, they are with Wagner Fund, and one of the psychologists there, she was involved also in human trafficking in academia. But then she wanted the money from research, and I don't say the name yet because they are doing something in litigation, and then I will say the name. Now I got the connection. Okay, so maybe the makler was threatened. I don't know. Okay, because I lived there 3 years, and then this year, when I was renewing contract, he asked me if I sleep with my mother. He said, "You sleep with my mother?" And I said, "I'm 40 years old. My mama's 73 years old." Okay, and I needed the apartment, so I just signed the contract and